think about times in your lives that you were asked to do something. As human beings, we are part of community. We need
Yeah.
community. We thrive in community. And when we did in our past something for someone else, and there is research around it, but I will say it makes us happier. It actually makes us happier.
Endometriosis isn't just a bad period. It's a whole body disease that impacts at least 1 in 10 females at birth. And yet, most go years, sometimes over a decade, without a diagnosis. It's misunderstood, it's under-researched, and it's often dismissed as, just a reproductive issue. This podcast is a space for the real talk. The stuff we whisper about and cry about and scream about, and the small wins that we celebrate along the way. We are here to connect, to get honest, and to share what we're learning as we navigate life with endo together.
Hear us now, we won't stay quiet. Through the storm, we'll rise to fight it. Our bodies ache, our voices roar. We're stronger than we were before.
I'm Ruthie, a patient, a designer, an entrepreneur, and someone who has had enough and ready to talk about it.
And I'm Sharon. I am a clinical mental health counselor and experienced life coach who's focusing on helping people recover from life-changing events and create the life that they want and deserve. I'm Sharon Coleman, and I am a master level clinician. I graduated from my master's in mental health counseling, and I work as a clinician in an outpatient clinic. And parallel to that, and prior to that, I also work as a life coach, and I work with adults on all life's transitions, a lot of anxieties, self-reflections, and who am I in light of this change in my life, and how did the years go by, and how did I find myself here? It's not where I expected to be. And so I help them mine for their strengths and go from there. You and I started working together. You kind of invited me to the group so I can see and feel what's going on, what's gripping, right? And you can see how many discussions are around surgery.
Yeah. What was your experience really as a little bit of an outsider coming in? Do you feel like it's mostly about surgery, mostly about like how our life changed? What has the biggest effect? Because obviously surgery is the loudest, because this is where we're scared and we're usually willing to say, I'm terrified. I have no idea what's going on. I don't see a lot of posts of like, my life is falling apart. I don't know what to do. There are, but not a lot. And I wonder, how do you experience this from like your more professional eye, how you see all the posts?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not there as much as, others. And yet I agree with you that surgery is a moment that feels easier and as if we have a concrete question,
Yes.
right? Versus it's much harder to show up to a group that we don't know for the most part and say, I feel I'm drowning in this. How do you wake up every day? How do you manage all the emotional stuff?
Yeah.
It's very vulnerable. It's very vulnerable. It leads to a lot of loneliness. And that is, we haven't touched on that feeling yet. And that is a very big and deep feeling. And if you look at all the posts, all of them, underneath all of them is a sense of, I'm alone in this and I'm reaching out to a community.
That is very true. Yeah.
And part of the beauty of this community is that everyone feels it and knows it. I'm getting goosebumps and knows it. And this is why they answer. So, I mean, honestly, how many groups on Facebook do you know that people stay so supportive on every
Right.
think
That's
about
true.
it that way?
That is true. That is an awesome thing. I like to say, whenever I see someone saying, "Hey, I just got diagnosed," my usual blessing is, "Congratulations, welcome to the club. Sucks to be here, but we got the best people." And I
Yeah.
truly, truly believe this. First of all, chronic pain turns us. It turns us to better people.
Yeah.
I personally attended a group therapy kind of thingy
Mhm.
from a specialized chronic pain psychiatrist. I did not know that thing exists. And
Mhm.
that was the first place where I learned that chronic pain changes our brain, like
Yes,
physically does.
absolutely. Yes.
And like how, like they showed this
Brain
image of
wash.
like how the brain is constantly 24/7 irritated and like needs to process signals even when we're sleeping, right? Because sometimes the pain does not go away when we sleep. So it's just like if we can do this and have a job and run a house and do all that, we're really awesome people.
Yeah.
Sorry. I gotta
No,
say. And
absolutely.
that includes all of it, by
Absolutely.
the way. IBS people, everybody who is handling a chronic thing that makes their lives a whole bunch of calculated decisions every
Mhm.
single moment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of these, chronic stress also changes your brain. I mean, which is why, I don't know how many of you read the book, The Body Keeps the Score,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so about PTSD and the chronic stress in the body that just never actually quiets down, you are in high alert the whole time. And so similarly, with chronic pain, right? You are in high alert the whole time. Your body is trying to constantly manage the pain.
Yeah. And I just want to say, as someone who is very easily triggered by people trying to say this is all in your head, it's all
Mhm.
psychological, that's not what we're saying. We are
Mhm.
saying chronic pain exists.
Yes.
It
And
also has other effects on the brain because that body soul thing and body mind thing is very real and it's a
real,
two-way street.
very real, very two-way, which is why going back to surgery, and even making the decision for going through with this, I can imagine how many, and I can see in the post too, is overwhelmed in the sense of, okay, let's say I do this, and then what? How do I recover through this? How do I go through the recovery? And we're not good at asking for help ourselves for ourselves. Kind of going back to like trying to do everything, right? Like be more, do more. And so thinking about the day after the surgery is extremely overwhelming as well.
I know. And I have to say, whoever thinks about it, it's great because sometimes doctors play it down a little bit. They don't want us to get too nervous. They also think like very clinically, how long is it going to take for the stitches? 2 weeks. So
Mm,
they're like, okay, recovery of 2 weeks.
yeah,
That's stitches. That's not healed back to your normal or finding your new normal. And I didn't know that. And I didn't know I need to ask. Like I feel like there is a lot of like need to know kind of things that I unless you have you've gone through this once, you don't
yeah,
know. I had no idea what I'm going through. I had
yeah.
no idea what I'm going for. And I left the hospital 4.5 hours after, which was way too early. And I
Mhm.
still had no idea what happened to me,
To expect.
what's going on, or what to expect.
Yeah, yeah,
Nothing.
yeah, yeah. Um,
So besides reading our guide that was created exactly for this
mhm.
to help prepare and just create some sort
Yeah,
of understanding and
yeah.
expectation, what else would you recommend?
This is the moment that we have to choose ourselves. This is a moment that we recognize that mindset has to shift, right? We are no longer here to like take care of everything and still go to work and still do this and still do the food shopping and still do the whatever is on your plate. We're all like different. We have different plates, but they're all full. Um, this is really a moment of choosing ourselves first, which is a very almost foreign language for most women, right? There is so much shame attached to putting yourself first, especially as women. I can say for myself, immediately pops into my head, like, how can you be so selfish? Right?
You have to think about
Yeah.
others.
And in general, I think, in our, if you look at our society and kind of like the things we are modeled and we're trained to think as, right? Like you're either selfish or you're selfless, right? Like it's either or. It's all these like, big, this or that. And you're either independent or you're needy, right? Because that kind of attaches to the day after, right? You see
Right.
this. Um, and that has to change in the sense of this is not either or. We are never either or. In fact, a range, right? It's a range between selfless and, selfish. It's a range. If you look at your friends, family, whatever, and you think of that range, I bet you that you can easily kind of line them up on that range, right? Like do a scale of 0 to 10. Oh, yes. I
I got the police lineup.
exactly. My aunt is this, um, and so recognizing this, okay, it is a range. And in fact, most of our lives, we walk on that range, right? In any relationship, friendship, romantic, whatever it is, there is, it moves and it ebbs and it flows, right? Like it's never one or the other, or it shouldn't be, right? And this is a moment that we need to move the needle towards one perspective because we have to put our needs first at this moment. This is not recognized. This is no longer a typical day. This is no longer a typical year. It's just no longer. This is a moment where we really kind of need to adjust our values and kind of see what are my values? What matters to me most? And at the base of it all is our well-being. That is the foundation right now. How we take care of ourselves is the foundation right now. It doesn't mean it's going to be always or not to that degree. Again, it
Right.
will change, it will shift. Right now, we need to put that all the way, right?
Yes.
Taking care of ourselves, putting our needs first, and knowing that it will change, it will shift. Right now, all hands on deck.
That is so true. And I have to say, like, as you're talking, I'm thinking to myself, like, really stuck with me, like the selfless versus, the needy.
Mm.
And I know so many great, amazing, selfless people who had surgery and needed help because it's just a technical thing. It does not change our personality to
Mm.
need help to get up from the couch if we need that.
You, yeah, you bring up this is, yeah, we have to talk about this. And we talk about it a little bit in the guide. The aversion we have of asking for help, immediately, thinking I might not appear, I'm not strong as I thought I am, or I will appear needy, or I don't want to burden other people, right?
Yeah.
That's a big one. I don't want to burden other people. They have other things going on,
I
right?
can do it. I'm not gonna die if I'll do it.
Have so many like excuses for others, right? Like they have so much stuff going on. They just started a new job. Yeah, we can see them while ignoring our needs, right? And what we forget in that moment is think about times where, your friend like you said, someone needed help and they didn't ask, you know.
That's awful.
It's awful to think that they thought you
I
wouldn't.
could help. Yes, I could have helped.
Yes. I mean, think back to all what we said of how good we are at piling things up. Yes, your friend can pile this. Don't worry. Whether it's to have someone like actually stay over with you, a good friend that can help you to the bathroom,
Oh,
right?
yeah, 100%. I needed physical help for like the first 2 weeks. It was really bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You were just, stitches cut, it's not easy. We don't just bounce around and like, just bounce back into, okay, I'll just
Yeah.
relax at home for 2 weeks, right? This is not what this is about.
Yeah. And we also kind of like part of it is we have to explain this because, it's laparoscopical. We're very grateful that we're not cut open like a book, but
Correct.
the inside is still like it depends what's done in
Ab-
the surgery. But for me, for example, I had so many adhesions, I had organs that were not working properly before. So besides the amount of internal cuts and healing that was just going on with all the stuff that was done, I also like all of my organs had to like readjust to their new positioning, to their new place, and it was just a lot for the body to handle, even though on the outside it was beautiful, 5 little cuts. That's it.
Mhm.
I'm very grateful.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
no marks at all.
Yeah. 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 You were lucky from that perspective, right?
Yes.
But it's still invasive.
Yes. It's a
Our body
big
still
surgery.
goes through shock, and not to mention like the medication needs to leave your body, like you're kind of groggy. I mean,
Oh yeah.
this is not, you're not relaxing at home.
Yes.
And imagine, imagine you didn't tell your friend and they found out a day or two later. Meanwhile, you are struggling, holding on to that, like, no, I'm independent. I don't want to bother anyone. And they learn about it. If you were that friend, learning that your friend went through this and
I
didn't call you,
I would be upset. I would be so sad.
yeah, absolutely. I would be sad. I would be
Yeah.
sad.
And I really I can't really understand both sides here. When we're asking for help, we can say like it's okay if you can't, like just kind of like prep it
Right.
for them to help them if they can't,
Yes.
if we know that they're having a hard time saying
Yes.
no or something like this and we don't want to be a burden, even
Mm,
though really
yeah.
most people are not as worried about this. Like they would just say if they can't, if she's out of town,
Mm,
if they're, unavailable, working with kids, whatever it is, they're just going to say, I'm so sorry,
yeah.
it's not going to work out. But maybe they're going to have ideas that are not exactly what you asked for and are still going to be helpful.
Yes. And you bring a good point that um having a list, kind of making a wish list, right? Make a wish list of what could help, right?
Mm.
Um, a good friend that will stay the first couple of days, or at least until I feel better. It could be a couple of days, it could be less. Maybe the day after I'd be like, you know what, I got it, right? Like I only need XYZ.
Right,
Um, but make a list like that. Maybe it's food, right? Like food delivery or, gift cards for food,
right.
Um, make a list of these things that could make a difference for you, that will ease the burden on you. And then you can kind of also make another list of resources. Who can I ask for what, right?
Mm,
It doesn't all go to this like one, it doesn't have to all go to one person. Maybe I have a neighbor that really likes baking. Maybe I have, like it doesn't have to be the immediate people. It could also be people that are slightly more remote and they could still contribute. They could still do something that make a big difference for us.
that is so true. I never thought about it that way, because like I feel like it's another layer of asking for help.
Mm.
Because like asking for help, you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to my three friends that I'm thinking direct, like right away about. And then they're like, no, but this one has the kids and this one has the that. And like I don't automatically go like beyond that very, very close circle. And that
Mm.
is not necessarily true because maybe if we break it down to the smaller parts, like you just did now, and like all I need from you, who works close to the grocery store and lives in my building,
Right,
just bring me the groceries.
right.
She would be so happy to do that. It's like on her way. And for me, it's huge. I don't have to go, I don't have to schlep.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
Yes.
Yeah, I
And
never thought about it.
I really want to stress out that, like that last part you said about they, whoever
Whoever, yeah.
will be so happy to do this. Think about times in your lives that you were asked to do something. Think about how we are as human beings. We are part of community. We need
Yeah.
community. We thrive in community. And when we did in our past something for someone else, and there is research around it, but I will say it makes us happier.
Yes.
It actually makes us happier.
Yes.
And so think of it, flip the story, right? This is not a burden. You are giving them an opportunity to increase the level of satisfaction and happiness of out of there. I am serious, right?
I'm gonna title my email, I'm here to make your day better.
Love it.
Please bring me lunch.
Love it. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. And like here's the thing. Honesty, which goes with what you were just talking about, right? Honesty and openness and vulnerability goes such a long way, right? And so opening an email like that and adding a little bit of humor around it and saying, I heard there was a research about this, right? And here I am being vulnerable, and there's research about that too. You know, um, here's what's happening with me. I'm seeking your support. And even for a phone call, I would say, write it down. If you are struggling with what to say, write it down first. Write it as if you're talking. You
Very
can either
smart.
read it out loud to yourself before doing it, or you can read it out loud as you're talking, or have the points, whatever, whichever degree of writing it out first helps you, do it.
I love that tip. I definitely do that in job interviews, which is the equivalent stressful situation for me, and it works. So
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
great idea. Yeah, yeah. I think another part of asking for help is also admitting how vulnerable we're going to be and like
Yeah.
how much of not doing we're going to do, which personally I did not anticipate as a problem. I didn't expect it to be so hard, but on
Mm.
like I would say day 10, like the first days I was just, so groggy anesthesia, I was just out, in and out, kind of like watching TV, not really know what's going on. But like day 10, I was okay. Pain was manageable. I wasn't up and up. I was seeing the light. So bored. I was going
Mm.
crazy. I felt like I'd climb the walls. I was so weak. I could not leave the house personally for like over a month, close to 2 months until I felt good enough to like strong enough to walk around. But I was also going crazy because I was like not doing anything and I was just
Yeah.
wasting time.
Oh gosh. Yes. Us, all us doing humans. Yes, we forget how to be human beings without the doings. Um,
Yeah.
Absolutely. It goes back to the identity moment that catches up with us the moment after surgery, after you start recovering, but you're not recovered. And then it's like, who is this person that can only lay on the couch right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Sitting in this discomfort is hard. It's hard. It's hard for us not to be productive, and important to recognize ahead of time that it will come and it will be very uncomfortable for a lot of us, and so necessary for our healing. So necessary for our healing. We also go back to kind of our well-being, and we go back to all the research about, meditation and slowing down and taking time to recover, even athletes, right? Like they have to recover. Big task like this that we ask of our body has to come with a recovery time. If we want to perform well later, we also need to allow ourselves the time to recover. And I'm saying allow ourselves. I emphasize that.
That is very, very strong. Yeah. I never thought about this, how even athletes who never, wake up every day at 5 a.m.,
So yeah.
they still go through 2 weeks of doing nothing.
Yep.
or
Yeah.
compared to whatever it is they were doing, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And most of us are not athletes. We're coming from years of pain before that and a lot of accommodations that our body and mind are doing to like hide the pain or like make it work. So we're not getting there as like top athletes who just had a little bit, a hit on a, yeah,
Yeah.
it's very, very different.
Yes. At the same time, I know the urge.
We all want to just be the athlete running right
Right,
after. I'm
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
healed. I'm good. A week
Yeah.
after surgery, I'm back at the gym. No, don't do this to
And also,
yourself.
part of it though is the grief. And it's important to recognize, right? Part of it is we don't recognize ourselves like this,
Yeah, yeah.
not as a moment to kind of sit with this. And again, to sit right now with this body the way it is right now and honor it and give it the healing and the time to recover and remember cognitively that what is now is not always. It is a path. Take it just like we feel better today. Just 5 days ago, we were not this. And so 5 days from now, we will be different too. And so taking the time to recognize that and be okay with it and
And
watch for our language, the way we talk to ourselves, right? And how much we
yeah.
judge ourselves. And if someone talked the way we talk to ourselves, to our loved ones, would we allow it? Um,
Probably not.
Probably not. And I will add, for those of us that have to feel like they are still accomplishing something, there are gentle, very gentle things that you can tap into. Those things that we all have, like if I ever have time, I will, right? Learn a new language,
Hmm,
how much of a mind space you have for it every day during the recovery, I don't know. But
right.
maybe one day you have 5 minutes, and when the other day you have accumulated time of 20 minutes because you did five, and then you went took a nap, then you did 10, and you took another nap or whatever, tended to your body. And so thinking about really gentle things and those things that we dream or have this like wish list of if I ever have time,
I'll
right?
organize all of my photos.
Exactly, right? So here's
I
something you,
planned to do that after surgery, and my brain was so
yeah,
fried. I looked at it and I was like, I don't actually want to do that now. And
yep,
I'm so happy I did. Because really looking back, I think, like you said, it was such a process with myself that was so
yeah,
hard. But as soon as I allowed myself to say, hey, this is too much, like I'm listening to this pain, that pain tells me to stop. So I'm just communicating it to whoever is next to me. Can do
yeah,
more than X.
yeah,
It gives me the space to heal faster. Like I remember myself before that, I would keep pushing and go through, and then I would end up with a 2 week flare up because
yep,
it would be so
too
bad.
much. Exactly, exactly.
Here, I get to stop. I do stop a lot more. I am canceling some more plans sometimes. It is what it is.
Yes.
But I'm canceling the plans today, so I don't have to cancel all of my plans
Well,
for the rest of the week.
mhm, yes.
So for
I'm
me, it was a big learning.
Yeah, as we said, this is a path and we learn in each moment. One of the things that is happening throughout our entire discussion, we're talking about a mind shift. And so if I take that thread from what you just said, and we're on this path, this is it, right? This is the new identity, right? With this diagnosis. And it will have flare-ups. And if I don't take care of my body continuously,
It will force us to take care of it.
yes. And what I'm going with is this is a moment, this is the beginning of learning the behavior of listening to your body, doing kind of like body scan, feeling scan, like where am I storing the feeling of irritation? Where in my body am I storing the feeling of anxiousness? Where in my body am I storing the feeling of being like fidgety and I want to do something? Where are all these feelings that we feel in our body, right? Where are they? How do they show up? Because this is a time that we can take to learn about ourselves. Your body is teaching you what it feels, where it feels it, how it feels it. And the more we learn to recognize these moments and how they feel, the better equipped we will be for this journey. So that in a month from now, when we go back to work and we overdo because we feel we need to compensate, and those like voices from the past, our past identity kind of starts showing up, those feelings in our body will kind of be, uh-oh, alert, alert, alert. Remember this? Slow down. No overcompensating. This is a new path. You will have a new identity. You know, this is me with that. And me with that has to take care of me.
I think that's a huge learning to take. Just that a lot of us are just preparing for surgery on like the technical side. Like, what is it going to be? What's going to be with work? How am I going to work with like what clothing to wear? And we don't plan for this. And then it hits us in the face. So,
And like you said before, people don't talk about it.
yeah.
It's so vulnerable. People
But we
don't
all
talk.
go through this. Every single patient I talk to
Yeah.
brings up the same things.
Yeah.
So if you are out there, you're not alone.
Yeah.
We all go through this. Reach out to whoever you know. 1 in 10 in America. In
Exactly.
Australia, they have new tests that are in circulation. So now it's 1 in 7. So
Wow.
there's a lot of people around us who are going through the same thing. And if there is one thing really strong in this world is women coming together. So
Power of community.
yeah. Any parting words or thoughts for today?
Oh, you are not alone unless you have a community. You're not alone in those feelings, that's for sure. We need to talk more about our pains and emotions and vulnerable moments.
Pain is a shadow that won't
We're gonna
let
do
go.
that right
It
here.
grips my body and
Thank you so
steals my
much, Erin.
glow. Silence
Thank
screams
you.
behind a smile. Walking this road feels like a trial. The world can't see the war inside. The scars I carry, the tears I've cried. Doctors shrug, they turn away, leaving me to fight another day. Hear us now, we won't stay quiet. Through the storm, we'll rise to fight it. Our bodies ache, our voices roar. We're stronger than we were before. Each day's a battle, a brand new fight. Chasing answers in the darkest night. The weight of doubt, it cuts so deep. But I hold on, I will not weep. We are not fragile, we are not small. We stand together, we stand tall. Listen to the stories we need to share. A little kindness could repair. Hear us now, we won't stay quiet. Through the storm, we'll rise to fight it. Our bodies ache, our voices roar. We're stronger than we were before. Hear us now, we won't stay quiet. Through the storm, we'll rise to fight it. Our bodies ache, our voices roar. We're stronger than we were before. Each day's a battle, a brand new fight. Chasing answers in the darkest night. The weight of doubt, it cuts so deep. But I hold on, I will not weep. Hear us now, we won't stay quiet. Through the storm, we'll rise to fight it. Our bodies ache, our voices roar. We're steals my glow. Silence screams behind a smile. Walking this road feels like a trial.